Grand Rising, everyone, and welcome to my Monday night White Hat Update Report. On the night of May 2nd, 2025, U.S. military intelligence operating under continuity of government authority intercepted a covert shipment that was intended to cripple the national power grid within hours of the long-awaited emergency broadcast system. The seizure confirms that everything that we've been told was coming, the deep state's final card, has just been ripped off from their trembling hands. Grand Rising, Galactic Jedis, Freedom Fighters, and Patriots. I don't even know if I had to repeat that twice, but on my end, it wasn't showing that I was broadcasting yet. For those that don't know me, my name is Ishmael Perez, and I'm the author of those two amazing books back there, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, both which restore galactic history and suppress information back to the Earth in preparation for the ascension of planet Earth. Now, tonight, guys, I have you could say a lot of jam-packed information regarding what's happening as we approach the final battle between good and evil on every level of reality. Not only do I have a geopolitical report, which I just started, but I will continue later on in the show, but I also have a very important galactic update that actually dovetails perfectly with what's happening down here between the Cabal and the Alliance, okay? So I want to welcome everyone for being here. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey of awakening. And I also wanted to extend deep gratitude to everyone that is not only watching on the live now, but everyone that's also going to be watching on the replay. And for those that are new, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And then also for everyone else, please hit that like button and share this with as many people as possible. A really quick reminder, I do read the comments, and some of you are asking me, where do I get the Folium product that gets rid of all the metals and radiation and, that stuff? The link is always in the description. I might even have to pin it in a comment for those that don't know how to find the description, which is fine. I've never been too tech savvy, so it's okay. So I'll go ahead and pin it in a comment for you guys, all right? A direct link to the Folium product. In addition to that, yes, I have a lot of information that I want to share with you guys as we finalize this war against the forces of darkness, beginning, before I get into the geopolitical update regarding the grid war. I do want to talk about a report that's coming directly from the Galactic Alliance. So today is going to be jam-packed with good information. I hope you guys are ready for this. And once again, guys, the Alliance, the Earth Alliance and the Galactic Alliance are working together, right, under a project known as Earth Liberation, or what they call the Earth Liberation Project. Let's just say it like that, for lack of a better word, okay? So the Great Arrival happened a few days ago. The Earth Alliance has confirmed a massive Pleiadian light fleet that intervened in the last few days, okay? So in an unprecedented cosmic event, the Earth Alliance insiders have recently confirmed that several solar observations operating under strict cosmic level top secret clearance have detected, filmed, and photographed the largest fleets of light ships ever recorded in human history entering our solar system. This massive influx occurring in early May 2025 marked what many star nations and awakened humans are calling the next phase of the Earth's liberation from millennia of dark control. So the public apparently has not yet been informed of this monumental arrival, but according to sources within the Earth Alliance, the data was immediately classified to avoid widespread panic among the unawakened population. But only a small circle of high-ranking Alliance members operating under cosmic-level security protocol received the full transmission. And here it is, okay? So coded transmissions intercepted and decrypted by Earth Alliance Command confirmed that the first, you could say that the fleets, hauls from the fifth dimensional sector of the Pleiadian star system, long recognized by spiritual traditions, and contactees as a benevolent race guiding Earth's ascension. The fleet is estimated to include nearly 30,000 advanced plasma base ships that they detected coming into our solar system on the 3rd of May, each housing millions of sentient light beings and advanced crystalline technologies beyond anything known to Earth science. So, one particular interest are the 12 colossal galactic security vessels. And these vessels are huge, each of which carry approximately 300,000 Delta security forces. These elite multidimensional guardians operate in both plasma and etheric realms and are now fully engaged in their mission, sealing Earth from negative extraterrestrial influence and clearing out all remnants of control based energies originating from off world sources. So the Earth Alliance has confirmed that these huge ships have arrived in direct response to a critical threat. A series of multi-dimensional antimatter wormholes artificially created to funnel in Draco energy from the Rigel system into the Earth's energy grid were actually created by some dark forces that were operating deep in Antarctica. Okay, these wormholes were formed through the etheric and plasma-based nuclear detonations that were launched above key energetic nodes of the Earth, points long used by dark forces to manipulate the 3D matrix. So for years, these artificial stargates have allowed chaotic, dense energies to distort human consciousness and feed the negative 3D control grid. So the Draco and their sub-functions that were operating under Antarctica for the last few years before Antarctica was fully recuperated by the Earth Alliance within the last few months, working through the cabal structures, we're talking about the Draco here, utilize these energetic corridors to maintain their grip on the Earth. So that control is now collapsing thanks to the help of these over 200,000 mega light ships that have come in through our sun into our solar system. So some of the technology that these galactic beings have used to neutralize these artificial wormholes is known as the Andara technology. And yes, that is related to the Andara crystals as well, which many of them are brewed near the Mount Shasta region. And so this is part of the planetary liberation process. So central to the mission of the Pleiadian Delta forces is the development of Andara crystalline technology, gifted to the Earth Alliance to assist in stabilizing the Earth's frequency. The Andara crystals, known to resonate at ultra-high interdimensional vibrations, are being used in tandem with monoatomic plasma fields to fully close all remaining negative stargates, including those that were opened by CERN, okay, through the Large Hadron Collider. These actions are not only halting the inflow of dark frequencies, but are actively transmuting the etheric debris left by the fallen grid systems, which is known as the old Babylonian grid system, which is now about to be collapsed due to the activation of the quantum financial grid. Now, I also want to go over in a little bit more about what the Q phones are, the medbeds, the quantum financial grid, the QFS, and just a general explanation of NESARA GESARA. Okay, so the Andara devices, part spiritual and part technological, are being strategically placed across planetary energy lines, effectively cleansing and returning Earth to its natural fifth dimensional state. They serve as anchor points for the incoming quantum freedom grid, a new planetary consciousness web that supports freedom, healing, and abundance for all life forms. So reports from the Galactic Alliance Command confirmed that the two previous negative timelines, ones in which the dark forces attempted to terraform the Earth and enforce transhumanist agendas through 5 Golf, right, the towers, nanotechnology, and AI-based control grids, have now been fully collapsed. Thank God. So these timelines, based on probable fields, were rendered inert by the successful intervention of the light forces and the use of high-dimensional Andara-based plasma weaponry that were implemented by the Galactic Alliance. So past efforts to trigger this event was a massive energetic flash or consciousness shift that was delayed to protect all life on the Earth. Okay, these timelines have now been merged into a positive New Earth timeline that the Galactics are now calling the Gamma timeline. Okay, I've mentioned this before. There is an infinite number of timelines which ultimately collapse into the 12, 6 positive, 6 negative, with the alpha being the original sacred timeline and all the other positive timelines related to that. And then, of course, the omega being the ultimate negative timeline, with 5 others being probabilities of the negative timeline. So now we're entering what is known as the gamma timeline, which is the timeline that restores everything back to the original sacred timeline. All right, so the galactic forces have thwarted what is described as the Cabal's final attempt to override human DNA, right? They were trying to prevent the ascension. They were using nanobots, right, through that. And then, of course, through the 5 Golf negative scalar frequencies broadcasted by the towers. So we don't have to worry about that, because as of May 2025, as of actually 2 days ago, on the 3rd, all remaining negative beings and entities, both surface level and off-world, have been neutralized, and this includes what remains of the Cabal. So the extinction of their influence is no longer a possibility. It is now an inevitability, okay? So what comes next, guys, is the rise of a new Earth with a new grid. So the arrival of the galactic fleet signals not destruction, right? The arrival of these 200,000 light plasma ships, but a planetary rebirth. So with the quantum freedom grid coming back online, humanity will begin to experience a rapid expansion in consciousness, health, and unity. Suppressed technologies such as medbeds, zero-point energy systems, and quantum communication tools are now expected to be gradually released to the general public, starting with, of course, those aligned with benevolent intent. So the Earth Alliance, working in direct collaboration with galactic councils, has received massive new shipments of Andara technology to assist in this global shift. Now, mind you, the Andara technology, which is a living organic technology, has been used by the galactic civilizations all throughout the cosmos in the liberation of worlds that have been unfortunately fallen under the control of the draconian reptilian forces. So these devices are being entrusted to the starseeds, the ground crew, also the light workers, one and the same, and the grid keepers that have been stationed worldwide. Okay, some of you guys asked, well, why are all the starseeds spread out everywhere? Well, a lot of you starseeds are actually grid workers, and you are geographically spread throughout the planet to help anchor in this new grid. Okay, you guys were all tasked with anchoring in, believe it or not, 5th dimensional light codes into the Earth's matrix, right? We're here to implode the matrix from within, or at least the old matrix that was imposed by the Anunnaki thousands of years ago. So this cosmic event, which correlates with the geopolitical update that I'm about to give in a little bit, again, tonight, is jam-packed with very good information. So bear with me, Galactic Jedis and Freedom Fighters. This cosmic event that took place a few days ago represents not merely a galactic visitation, but a final act of planetary rescue and transformation. The Pleiadian light fleets, guided by universal laws and deep compassion, are here to end the suffering caused by eons of manipulation and darkness through their advanced plasma ships, the Andara technology, and high vibrational intent. They are ensuring Earth's return to her rightful place as a sovereign, ascended world. So while mainstream systems remain silent, but not for very long, thanks to the implementation of Project Odin, who stands for, again, observe, detect, intercept, and neutralized. That's what Odin stands for. It has nothing to do with the Norse god, the father of Thor. I just wanted to throw that out there. But while mainstream media has been, silent about this, those who have eyes to see and hearts that have been awakened understand on a deeper level what's actually happening. Okay, and I'm sure you guys are feeling all of this. Leave it in the comments. I want to know how you guys have been feeling lately. Some people are saying that time seems to be speeding up. Some people are saying that they're feeling lethargy throughout the day, or disruption in their sleeping patterns. This is all part of what's happening right now, guys. So it's the liberation of the earth is underway. All right, we are now steadily on a positive timeline trajectory, and the age of light is dawning, which is what we call the age of Aquarius. So before I get to the geopolitical update regarding what's happening with the grid war, right? I do want to give you guys a brief understanding of the Q phones, the quantum financial grid, the QFS, medbeds, and other technologies, GESARA and NESARA, really quick before I get into the geopolitical update. Okay, so I do have a lot of new people that are asking me, what is GESARA? What is QFS? What is a Q phone? So again, not everyone is on the same level of awakening. Some people are barely getting their feet wet when it comes to all of this, and they still need to understand the basics. Okay, guys? So really quick, so in understanding what GESARA is, let me first explain, okay, which is the Foundation of Economic and Legal Reset. That's the best way to explain it. So GESARA, which stands for the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, is what NESARA is on a national level. Now, NESARA stands for National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and these were both proposed legislative reforms that intended to drastically overhaul the global financial system and government structure. So through NESARA, we are being drafted. The best way to say it is through NESARA was a real bill, by the way, that was drafted in the US in the 1990s by Harvey Francis Bernard, okay? And then it was forced at gunpoint to be passed by no other than Billy Bob, right? Married to the witch. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, since then, the white hat military has evolved this law into much broader concept, including now what is known as GESARA, right? The Global Economic Reformation and Restabilization Act. And what all this entails on a global level, not just a national level, is debt forgiveness, right? Elimination of mortgage, credit cards, student loans, a revaluation of global currencies based on asset backing like gold and silver, right? Returning to constitutional law, and an end to legal loopholes used by governments and banks. Also, the dissolution and abolishment of the three-letter agency, 16th Amendment, and of course the Federal Reserve, which were both illegally ratified, and of course worldwide peace and creation of the worldwide peace and the cessation and abolishment of all wars. Okay, so all of this what's going to be happening when GESARA and NESARA becomes implemented. So really quick, GESARA will be implemented globally, while NESARA applies specifically to the United States since 2001. And for those that didn't know, they were about to release this bill and announce it and implement it to the world right before September 11, 2001. You guys know what happened, right? And that's why the dark side did that, because the records, all the evidence was actually located in one of those towers. Well, anyways, these acts have been suppressed by powerful interests because of the threat key posed to the financial dominance of the cabal. Now, really quick, the quantum financial system is described as a revolutionary blockchain-based digital financial network powered by quantum computing and organic sentient intelligence, which many people call a positive AI. The QFS operates on an off-world or satellite-based infrastructure, which is connected to what we call now Starlink, managed by benevolent extraterrestrials or interdimensional beings who have actually been monitoring our planet for millennia. So key features often attributed to the QFS include instant security, and transparency financial transactions or transparent financial transactions, complete traceability and anti-corrupted enforcement, elimination of central banking system control, and of course, fiat money, asset-backed digital currencies, ensuring stability and sovereignty. So apparently the QFS is considered the backbone of GESARA and NESARA implementation and is said to be already running in parallel with the current fiat system, ready to be activated once the cabal has been fully dismantled. And it looks like we are already heading there. Really quick, an overall explanation of the healing modalities, beginning with medbeds. So there are three types of medbeds, guys, all right, which are advanced healing technologies that use tachyon energy, plasma fields, and quantum diagnostics to regenerate tissue, repair DNA, and even reverse aging. Some of you guys have been asking me, will I look young again? And the answer to that is yes. So these are the types of healing modalities that are all classified under the three categories of medbeds. Okay, we have the holographic regenerating medbed, right, for diagnostics and surgical procedures without invasive techniques, using a hologram to generate any limb organ at will. We also have the rejuvenating medbed technology, right, which rebuilds missing organs or limbs using stem cells and DNA mapping. We also have the rejuvenating medbed, reversing aging, and extends life expectancy significantly, as to why JFK Sr. and Nikola Tesla and John Trump are still looking like they're in their late 70s or 60s, rather, when they're like 140 something, I guess. Well, not JFK Sr. I'm talking about Nikola Tesla, 140, almost 150 to be exact. Well, proponents claim that these devices have been suppressed for decades, and they have, by the big pharma companies and, of course, the cabal to maintain profit-based medical systems. But once released, these healing modalities are expected to revolutionize, starts with an H, care, by offering non-invasive, free, and almost instant healing to all people. Now, let's talk about the Q phones, because not a lot of people know what the Q phones are all about. Well, Q phones are to be secured, quantum encrypted communication devices developed as part of the new technological infrastructure for humanity. These phones allegedly connect to the QFS, not allegedly, let's just say they do, okay, and operate via the Starlink satellite network, which is an off-grid quantum web, all right, an off-grid quantum web. And features include unhackable communication using quantum key distribution, no electronic radiation, harmful to health. As you guys by now know, that the iPhones were designed as a weapon to radiate us and give us, the C word and other things. But anyways, the Q phones are also going to have direct access to free energy devices and sovereign identification systems. They're also going to be integrated with the quantum freedom grid, which is going to be replacing the old Babylonian grid as I speak, and to ensure personal and financial, autonomy. Am I still? Yeah. All right, cool. Autonomy. Okay. So, Q phones are going to eventually replace smartphones when the cabal is exposed, which are viewed as tools. We're talking about the Q phones here. They're going to be viewed as tools for. The Q phones are going to be replacing the smartphones because the iPhones, aka smartphones, have always been used by the cabal to spy on us, right? They have been used as tools for surveillance. Through your iPhone, guys, they're watching everything, okay? Maybe I shouldn't say that like right now, but it's true. So the Q phones are going to give you back your privacy, okay? So the quantum freedom grid, which is the new Earth's energy, an information matrix that is going to be replacing the old Babylonian grid, is a planetary scale network of quantum energy fields consciousness boosting nodes, and communication systems. It operates in coordination with Earth's ley lines and sacred geometries, linking advanced technologies like the QFS, the medbeds, and the Q phones into a cohesive infrastructure. So the QFG, the quantum financial grid, is clearing negative energy and frequencies used for mind control. And again, a lot of this is due to the Andara technology that was given to us by the Pleiadian light plasma ships. The QFG is also going to be supporting global awakening by raising the collective vibration. They're going to also be enabling direct interaction between human consciousness and quantum living computers, organic quantum living computers, connecting people to universal source energy for spiritual evolution. So, according to insiders, the grid is being activated gradually, often supported by unseen alliances, white hats in the military, and of course, extraterrestrial allies, working to neutralize the Cabal's control Babylonian system grid. So all of this is leading to the liberation of the earth from the cabal, the grand plan, Project Earth Liberation. Okay, the convergence of GESARA, NESARA, the QFS, medbeds, the Q phones is all viewed as part of a divinely orchestrated and assisted by extraterrestrials to dismantle the oppressive systems. And now I do want to get into the intel, but yeah, let's get into the intel, the geopolitical intel. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the live, right? On the night of May the 2nd, a few days ago, 2025, U.S. military intelligence, operating under continuity of government authority, intercepted a covert shipment intended to cripple the national power grid within hours of the long-awaited emergency broadcast system. The seizure confirms everything we've been told was coming. The deep state's final card has been ripped from their trembling hands. The container was being transported under diplomatic disguise, tagged as international energy apparatus, but it carried no fuel, no energy, no aid. What it carried was war, okay? They were trying to take out the entire North American grid, and they failed thanks to the alliance, okay? So things are shifting. They're quantum shifting constantly, right? Okay, so insiders, according to insiders, the EMP class weapons, the grid disruption nano devices, the military designed frequency jammers, and the smart target malware built to collapse transformer substations and reroute grid control into chaos were completely neutralized by the alliance. So apparently the cabal was going to use a combination of an EMP class weapon with grid disruption nano devices. Again, they are working with AI at a micro level of reality. They were going to use military designed frequency jammers and smart target malware, but to no avail. Okay, the equipment was built in Israel under the direction of Netanyahu and the Mossad. Again, pure evil, rooted through the Ukraine, right? Another epicenter of the cabal, financed through the European NATO proxies, and received in Maryland via a privately owned port terminal known as port terminal with known ties to former, are you guys ready for this? Obama era intelligence operatives. And for those that didn't know, Obama is the grandchild of Adolf Hitler. Okay, so that's the chain, right? That's the corruption. That's who tried to black out America before the truth could have been shown to the people. So let's be perfectly clear here. This was not just a physical attack. This was a preemptive warfare to silence the EBS, a last-minute act of globalist terror before the storm of D-class hits the world. This is what they feared most. We're talking about what's left of the cabal. The moment when every citizen of the earth would witness proof of everything that was hidden. Election theft, global little one transportation traffic, you know what I mean? The pharmaceutical eugenics agenda, the bio pence, right, launched with that, and the elites BLOOD, soaked financial control. Okay, this operation wasn't just massive; it was coordinated across 5 nations, right? North America, Mexico, Canada, and all of the countries within Central America. So it was going to take out the entire grid from Canada all the way to Central America. All right. Um, so this operation was apparently coordinated to take out 5 nations, 3-letter agencies, rogue military contractors, and a hidden network of embedded technicians inside the American energy grid. So they've been preparing this for years, embedded codes, infiltrating control panels, gaining silent access to satellite relays, and of course, 5 Gulf towers, right? All of it ready to be activated at the moment the EBS went live. That moment almost came 2 days ago on the 3rd of May, but the cabal failed. Okay. The White Hat Military Alliance tracked the cargo using quantum triangulation via Project Odin, not just from space, but through 0-point signal monitoring inside bunkers across the country. So, quantum signal intelligence, also known as QSI, assets intercepted command orders from a secure location in Brussels, directly implicating NATO intelligence channels, Soros linked non governmental humanitarian fronts, and satellite uplinks tied to BlackRock owned cloud infrastructure. Okay. The moment they moved, we were already inside. The cargo was seized in Kansas, thanks to the alliance, at a supposedly decommissioned rail station that was recently activated under the cover of infrastructure upgrades. Upon opening the container, operatives discovered an EMP pulse arrays collaborated to 440 kV nodes or kilowatts, I think kV, right? Nodes, the backbone of interstate energy distribution, encrypted devices capable of remotely overriding grid software using zero trust bypass protocols, signal jammers disguised as telecom repeaters with satellite lock scripts that could shut down QFS, and EBS signal propaganda across 94, or I'm sorry, an EBS signal propagation across 94% of the US landmass. Not to mention biocoding activation switches key to DNA authorized personnel, meaning only specific individuals could activate the sequence. So what this tells us is beyond damning, okay? They had specific targets, specific timelines, specific biological keys, and this was elite level sabotage, designed not just to stop the broadcast of the EBS, but to paralyze the awakening of humanity. This was never about safety or power management. It was about shutting down the message before it could even hit the airwaves. And that message was going to include footage from military tribunals that took place over the last years, right? A lot of us have been asking, where is the evidence that these people have been taken to Gitmo, right? The evidence was also, or the broadcasting was also going to include confessions from a 3-letter agency that starts with a C, another one that starts with a W, right? Health organization, and another one that starts with a W, Economic Forum, operatives. It was also going to include hidden, right, data showing government complicit sterilization programs. Also evidence of little one organ, you guys know what I mean, right? Harvest rings run through UN logistic hubs. It was also going to include the classified 2020 and 2024 election data dumps confirming digital vote theft, and international manipulation, especially 2020, prove that the real government transition happened in January under sealed continuity operations that bypass the corporate US Inc. installed by foreign influence. So if that went live, guys, if the American people saw it all at once, the system would have collapsed immediately. Okay? The false leaders would have fallen already. The banks would have collapsed. The media would have dissolved, and control vanishes from the hands of those who drank from the trough of human suffering for generations. And they knew it, they panicked, and they struck. Okay, they struck as of May 3rd. So, but the alliance, I'm sorry, as of the 2nd of May. And then, of course, on the 3rd of May, that's when the Galactics came in with 200,000 plasma light ships to counteract everything once again in helping the alliance win this grid war. But the alliance already was step ahead, thanks to what? Thanks to Project Looking Glass. They always foresee things before they happen. Military arrest followed immediately. The main command operative, a former 3-letter agency, starts with an N. Security agency, starts with an N. Handler turned rogue, was extracted alive, and is now in Gitmo under sealed military indictment -886-QF-1105. His confessions have triggered further seizures across the Midwest and Pacific coast. All assets have now been cleared. The EBS infrastructure is secure. The quantum financial system remains untouched, thank God. And Project Odin is fully operational, awaiting the green light. This was the deep state's last attempt, guys. This is good news. Last attempt to stop the voice of truth from reaching the people. They bet everything on this one move and they failed. The deep state. And now they are out of moves. Okay. So as of the 5th of May, which is today, 2025, the world stands at the edge of full exposure. The White Hat military now is in absolute control by the deactivation of the Babylonian old grid. The Trump's leadership is evident in every counter operation, every decoded drop, every silent military movement ignored by the mockingbird media. This war is almost over, or it's just about over, rather. And to those that are still blind, still pretending, still hoping that the nightmare continues, understand this, right? The darkness was scheduled. The grid was marked for death. We're talking about the old Babylonian grid. You were going to be left in a cold disconnected while the new world was born without you. This is a message to the cabal from the White Hat Military Alliance. So under Mr. T, restored executive orders, sealed indictments have now been activated. Over 500,000 sealed cases are now being executed globally. Military tribunals are being fast-tracked. Gitmo has expanded its capacity fivefold. I mentioned this before, right? They're using a huge facility in El Salvador as well as in Greenland. Secret underground tribunals are already underway in Nevada, Texas, and Alaska. The media blackout on this is no accident. They are complicit, and now the silence will be their news. That's it. They're done. So, also, there has been a Nevada facility raid confirmed with over 1,200 little ones freed from deep underground military base networks that were linked to Area 51. Okay, so now we have full control of Area 51. We, as in the White Hat military. So as of the 28th of April, SEAL teams stormed a massive deep underground military base beneath Nevada, camouflaged as a decommissioned mining site. Surveillance footage confirms that over 1,200 little ones were held in cages, many subjected to MK Ultra reprogramming, organ extraction and genetic modification procedures. So what makes this even more disturbing is its direct tunnel access to Area 51, which is no longer a place of alien secrets, but a hub for elite-run experimentation and trafficking command centers. Data recovered from the AI-controlled surveillance systems on site ties the facility to DARPA, BlackRock, and private biotech firms operating under fake, starts with an H, NGOs, okay? Documents retrieved show coded references to product cycles, DNA imprinting, and hormonal suppression treatments, all targeting the little ones. These are military facts backed by satellite imaging, biological samples, and sworn testimonies from rescued survivors. The military has now confirmed the existence of a vast, high-speed subterranean rail network used for trafficking. Built during the Cold War under continuity of government operations, this network was never shut down. It was privatized and handed over to globalist handlers. So these tunnels connect apparently Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Denver, Rome, Tel Aviv, Geneva, and even lead to Antarctic strongholds. The infrastructure is equipped with EMF shielding, AI routing systems, and drone surveillance. So who paid for it, right? Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and NATO intelligence shells. These are the companies that have pretended to defend democracy while digging the very veins of the trafficking empire. So one military report confirmed that the same people building weapons of war were actually building tombs for the little ones. And so also a new report has further unraveled evidence of the 2020 stolen ELECTION involving Zuckerberg, Bezos, Gates, linked to blockchain funding from the dark trade. Okay. Military cyber intelligence operatives also working under the Space Force Command have decrypted over 5 petabytes of dark web data and blockchain transactions records. What they found is unforgivable. Okay. Zuckerberg, through a crypto shell disguised as an educational platform, funneled funds to black market nodes in Switzerland and in the Netherlands. Jeff Bezos, funded human cargo routes under the guise of logistical AI research. The Big Gates is tied to Ethereum-based smart contracts designed for little one procurement actions on the dark net. So the currency, untraceable privacy coins, layered through AI masking, and then what's worse is that many of these transactions were actually labeled as philanthropic development grants, right? And laundered through the Clinton Foundation satellites, the Big Gates Foundation, their Gavi Alliance, and of course the WEF, tied to biotech firms. So on April 30th, a historic raid on the Vatican, right before, the death of the what's known as the head of the dragon, right? You could say historic raid of the Vatican City uncovered an underground command center beneath the catacombs. What was once dismissed as legend is now undeniably a fact. The Vatican is ground zero for ritualized little one trafficking and, satanic rituals, operations coordinated for over a century. Well, I would say for 1,700 years, to be exact. So inside gold trimmed vaults, military operatives found blood-soaked robes, ceremonial daggers, and encrypted ledgers listing payment for little ones. Okay. They also found detailed schedules of ritual holidays aligned with lunar cycles used to orchestrate trafficking under the guise of religious ceremonies. They also found ledgers trying European royals, Hollywood executives, WEF leaders, and political figures directly to these rings, right? Abuse rings. Among the most damning discoveries was evidence of pre-recorded little one ritual video use for political blackmail against global leaders, right? So that was their currency. The little ones have always been the way that they blackmail people. And also, Antarctica is now being exposed. The ice fortress is all going to be unveiled to the general public as well. So as of May 1st, updates confirmed that military teams infiltrated a city-sized facility beneath Antarctica's ice shelf, a location previously protected under the guise of climate research. This fortress, dubbed Project Thanatos, was operated under UN permission, elite financing, and Vatican protection. And Project Thanatos, spelled Thanatos, Thanatos. So inside, the SEALs discovered cloning vats where elite DNA was fused with trafficked little ones' tissue to create programmable hybrids. Yeah, this is sick, huh? Cryogenic stasis chambers used to harvest hormonal fluids for age reversal experiments, tying directly to big, Pharma and Silicon Valley anti-aging labs. Deep storage data banks showing thousands of project profiles with dates, names, and behavioral modifications and cloning test results. Documents tie this facility to top executives from all three of that, right? Derna, you guys know. Zer starts with the P, and the other one. And yes, the media knew it, okay? They were paid to keep all of this under wrap. So, military raids also in New York and Atlanta on April 25th to the 29th exposed an operation called Operation Obscura, a media command initiative designed to bury, redirect, or destroy any exposure to the transferring network, speaking network. Found in encrypted archives were bribed schedules for CNN, BBC, MSNBC, and Reuters with orders to discredit Mr. T with maximum frequency, label all raids as false operations, and destroy credibility of any military whistleblowers. Like I mentioned, today is jam-packed with a lot of good information. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful evening today on the 5th of May. I haven't even said the date. Today is the 5th of May, 2025. And yes, guys, we are steady on a positive timeline trajectory, all right? I am so happy that you guys are here. I want to give a few shout-outs. I see Blady 1111 is in the house, Cosmic Zeal, Roy's Toys and Comics, Sophia Glory, Amanda Tempori, any day now is in the house, MJF, Cheryl, Pauline, Trinity Q, Lee Star, Edward is in the house, Leah Archer is in the house, Sylvia Vidal is in the house, who else? So many people that are in the house. Over 2,731 freedom fighters that are in the house. Welcome, welcome. All right, guys. I also want to welcome all the angelics, the Galactic Alliance that is watching over us, the archangels and the angels that are interceding, that are all cooperating and helping the one infinite creator to successfully execute Project Earth Liberation Mission. And I also wanted to remind you guys that I will be putting up new classes for the month of starting maybe like around the third week of May, going into the mid-June. For those that have not had an opportunity to take my courses, I will be letting you guys know when my next round of courses are up, because I know that they get full really, really soon. So I also wanted to give some special thanks to all of the light warriors, grid workers, starseeds, and everyone out there that is doing your individual work. Thank you so much for doing the work that you guys do. Because even though we don't know each other on a personal level, like physically, I know based on the energy that there's a lot of you out there that are also doing a lot of great work for planet Earth. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that. And yes, guys, very, very soon, we are all going to meet in the new Earth as we become the leaders and the guardians and stewards of this new planet. So with that in mind, I also wanted to remind you guys that without your support, I would have never won the book award at the Los Angeles Conscious Live Expo in 2025, early this year. Thank you guys so much for the vote. I appreciate that. And apparently Athena is sleeping right now. I know you guys missed my dog, but she's actually sleeping. Let's see if I can wake her up. Athena, come here. Athena. Come here, Athena. Come here. Come here. People want to say hi to you. Come here. Come here. People want to say hi to you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Tina, come here. Come here. We're not done yet. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. There we go. All right, go back to sleep. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. I know you're a sleepy dog today, huh? You've been too busy playing with the kids for the last 2 months. All right, so you guys know what time it is. It is about that time to take some Q&A. So if you guys want to type in your questions in capital letters, that'd be greatly appreciated. Yes, all animals are ascending. Athena is ascending too. That's right, conspiratary. All right, this is a good question. Last time I was live, I was asked to give a rundown on all the different cycles that we're ending right now beyond, the 25,000 year Platonic year cycle. So I believe that this is a continuation of that question. Jacob Scherer is asking me, Ishmael, sir, please explain what you think is most important about the culmination of all the cycles, or talk about that. Well, the most important thing about the culmination of all the cycles is that the Earth was picked from the get-go as the intergalactic hub of information of the culmination of all 12 prior creations, and also as the headquarters world. So the most important thing in all of these cycles that are now coming into culmination is that not only are we going to have a reset, a new start here on this planet, right, as we go into the golden age, but our entire multiverse, right, ending a cosmic cycle of over 900 billion years, is also going to have a new reset, right, without the existence of the AI god anymore, Omega, right, who has been acting as a parasite for over 360 billion years. But anyway, so yeah, that's the significance of ending all these cycles. I do have a question from Anna. Is it Nisfer? Starts with a KN. Nisfer. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "Is there any giant ant ET race like in the movie Ant-Man? Also, will there still be 3 timelines once the third wave solar flash happens?" Okay, so to answer the first part of your question, Anne, yes, there are giant ants, but I mean, as far as their stature, some of the biggest ants that were actually detected on planet Mars by our super soldiers when we established the Mars defense post were as big as like a bus. Some of these ants were huge. So they were about 15 feet tall, and of course, as big as a bus in diameter when it comes to the length. However, besides those negative extraterrestrial ants that our super soldiers were in constant battle with since the 50s and 60s, there are benevolent ant people, also known as an ancient ant race, that lives within the inner earth. And they have been living peacefully for thousands of years. They coexisted during the times of Lemuria with the inhabitants of the Lemurian continent. And they also coexisted within the civilization of Atlantis during those days. So there are actually stories of these benevolent ant beings that have actually, surfaced to the world and have guided certain regions of the surface dwellers. There's stories of that in ancient times. So yeah, there are 2 types of insectoids. You have benevolent insectoids, and those insectoids are actually about 4 to 6 feet tall. They're not big. And then you have malevolent or negative insectoids, where you have spiders the size of a house. You have mantis, praying mantis, and what seems to look like extraterrestrial grasshoppers, the sizes of buses. So yeah, those do exist out there. Now I do have another super chat from Helen West. Oh, wow. What a generous donation. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate that donation. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is a question from, oh, sorry, I just lost the chat. Oh, there's the chat. This is a question from Galactic Jedi, Cosmic Cave. Welcome, Cosmic Cave. How do I pin? Oh, there we go. Okay, question from Cosmic Cave. Ishmael, can you talk more about the Montauk project and the technology? Well, the Montauk project was initially based on this extraterrestrial craft retrieval, where some of the military industrial complex operatives were able to retrieve a chair from a craft that they uncovered in New Mexico. And they were able to use this chair, or they pretty much deciphered that this chair was used to time travel. And then later, they ran experiments as to how to reverse engineer the chair so that our own shadow government could learn how to, use this technology to also time travel. So it was an experiment in time travel technology. But then, of course, due to the selling us out by President Truman, eventually the military industrial complex was able to perfect the technology and then, of course, implement time travel technology in order to win the war against the forces of good, but they failed. And the reason that they failed was because 30 years earlier, if you guys recall, due to the triple temporal alliance, Nikola Tesla and John Trump were able to pin them down on every probable future Earth reality. So yes, that is what the Montauk project was all about. It was about first reverse engineering the chair, right, where you sit on the chair and you're able to travel forward or backward in time. And then, of course, was about reverse engineering it, and then they were able to perfect it. You decided to be my co-pilot after all, huh, Athena? All right, so I do have another super chat from Rhonda Chance. How you doing, Rhonda? Ishmael, will all go to the fifth dimension or sixth dimension, or will some of us go to the fourth dimension? This is a good question, Rhonda. Well, I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. The younger souls, which is what we know as the Earth Terrans, well, we as in the Galactics, right, are going to at least go into the fourth D Earth because they have to evolve in increments. However, the older souls, right, those of you guys that are down here in human form, which are in the millions, I would say over 70 million strong, are going to go directly to the fifth dimension and above. So to answer your question, Rhonda, not everyone's going to go to the fifth dimension. The great majority of Earth Terrans, which are the younger souls, are going to be going to the fourth D Earth, and they're going to be ascending in increments. Okay. However, I also want to make it clear that some of you are actually going to be able to bypass the fifth dimensional Earth and have access to sixth, seventh, eighth, all the way up to the 12th dimensional Earth. Okay. And you are going to be super powerful, whoever you are. There's actually exactly about 100 individuals on this planet. It could be any one of you that is going to have access all the way up to the 10th, 11th, and 12th D Earth, which is known as the Avioni Earth, and then the 12th D Earth is known as the Aramatena Earth. All right, so I do want to acknowledge Ancient Ranger 2727. Thank you so much for that super chat, brother. What timelines will we have superpowers? Oh, you're probably referring to in which timelines will we have superpowers? Well, due to the conversions that is about to take place, right, that is going to collapse the 12 timelines right now into what is known now as the Gamma timeline, right, returning us back to the sacred timeline. We are going to have the superpowers in the neutral timeline as well as in the positive ascending organic timeline. Okay, that's where we are going to have what is known as ascended abilities, or abilities like superpowers, right? So there you go. I do have another question from Dr. Christine Blakesmith. Welcome, Dr. Christine Blakesmith. She says, can you explain the redemption centers? I do not know anything about this subject, and it keeps coming up. Is this only a 4D thing? Very good question, Dr. Christine. And to be honest with you, I really don't have much knowledge regarding the redemption centers, but to give you a general understanding, that's where the good people of the earth are going to be giving a large sum of that in order to start their humanitarian projects. Okay, so I don't know how exactly that's going to be taking place, but that's part of the redistribution of the world's wealth back to the people. And will this only be happening in the fourth D? Yes, the answer to that is yes. Only in the fourth D will that be happening, because in the fifth dimensional Earth reality, there is no economy. There will be no need for, um, you know, a quantum financial system. The quantum financial system is only a 4D thing. Okay. And the reason being is because in the fifth dimensional Earth reality, due to the organic, software, sleeping technology that lies dormant within each and every single one of us, is going to be our way of manifesting and creating at the speed of light. I do want to welcome Tom, who's in the house. Thank you so much for that super chat, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Ishmael, people who stay in 3D, will they find our empty house and all of our things like photos? This is a question from Pocha. No, Pocha. The 3D reality, which is an illusion, a false matrix, is going to implode. It's not going to be around anymore. So, like I mentioned before, this current illusion that we call the 3D matrix, this fallen state of reality, was imposed by us by the Anunnaki using an interplanetary computer network when they took over the affairs of Atlantis. So that reality was programmed to come to an end by no later than 2028. Okay, so between now and 2028, we have to make that choice if whether we're going to go into the fourth D Earth, the 5D, or the negative technocratic dystopian timeline, which I don't think any of you here or any of those that watch this on the replay are going to be going into the negative technocratic dystopian timeline. Okay, so yeah, the 3D is collapsing. This 3D is a false reality. Good question, though. Ishmael, was Gabriel Jesus' father? This is a question from Tamara. Welcome, Tamara. The answer to that is yes. It was Archangel Gabriel, who is, by the way, Michael's firstborn, here to the throne and overseer of the 13th creation to come, as this earth becomes the germinating seed of the 13th cycle, or the 13th grand cycle of creation. Yes, it was Gabriel who inseminated the Virgin Mary. Yes, I did hear that Trump did order Alcatraz to be reopened. That is so true. Solar Water Inc. Welcome, Solar Water Inc. Welcome, welcome. All right, some of you guys are saying you're aiming for 5D. Good job, good job. And again, one of the best ways to aim or secure your ascension into 5D and above is your daily frequency and vibration, guys. Your daily frequency and vibration. Will narcissist people stay in 3D? This is a question from Love to All. No, the narcissist and all the dark entities are going to be destroyed when the solar flash takes place, along with the 3D world. Yeah, the 3D world is going to be eradicated. Yeah, burst. Wolf Mother says 5D or burst or bust. Thank you for that reminder. All right, this is an interesting question from Michael L. Zantko. He's asking Ishmael, 5D rejuvenation, limited egg count of women. Will women become fertile? Again, in 4D or 5D? No, they're not going to become fertile. See, That when they rolled out that in 2000, at the end of 2019, part of the poison that that came with is that they were going to fertilize humanity so that we no longer produced organically. And then with the active, with the yeah, with the turning on and activation of the five Gulf towers, all of that stuff that was in, put into people's bodies was going to totally create a third strand, which was an artificial cybernetic DNA strand that was supposed to begin the conversion process. It takes like over a decade, right, as they administrate more and more organic humans into inorganic humans, right? And so that's why many believe that those that took that without getting detox are no longer organic. So again, if you accidentally took that or you were forced to take that, there is this wonderful product that one of my good friends, who is a holistic doctor, developed. The link will be in the description, Folium PX, or I will go ahead and post it and pin it in the comments because some of you guys don't know where the description is, and it's okay, guys. Not everyone is tech savvy when it comes to this stuff. So, yeah, let's answer more questions. Nova Nova Superpower, thank you so much for your super chat. Greg says, I want to fly without wings in 5D. Well, you will be able to because in 5D we use about 50% crystalline genetics, which is going to allow you to actually, defy gravity, right? Control the elements with your mind, and so on and so forth. Ricky Lee 1111 is asking me, Ishmael, did you say that the Saturn and Moon negative relays are taken down? Yes, yes. It was known as the Saturn Moon matrix, or what was holding the matrix together, right? It was helping to keep what was known as a negative greed. But that negative greed was, of course, dismantled by the Galactic Alliance. So yes, the Sun Moon matrix is no longer operational, right? It's no longer causing the reincarnation loop to take place. Now souls are bypassing this false matrix, and they're actually going into the near Earth, and they're just waiting for us to meet them there soon. So yeah. Yes, yes. According to Intel, Galactic Alliance, and my visions, the three timelines are going to converge after 1,000 years for one final battle against the AI menace, right? The AI overlord. No, no, no. The moment we see medbeds, Q phones, GESARA, that's going to correspond into the collective consciousness of the Earth that is going to be now entering into the fourth Earth. And again, some of us are going into the 50 and above. And I did read some of the chat earlier, and some of you, one person wanted to know if our moon is artificial and if it was hauled here by the Greys. And the answer to that is no. It was actually hauled here by the Draco reptilians from the Radial star system. Okay, when the negative Anunnaki took over the affairs of the world. Now, bear in mind, guys, that the little grays, right, the little grays that we see with the buggety eyes, the almond-faced heads, the big arms, some are tall, some are short, those are inorganic. They are robotic creatures that are used by the Dracos and other alien races to do their bidding, okay? To do their bidding. So they're all under a mind hive type of AI control, and they have been for millions of years. And that's what the Dracos do. When the Dracos are attempting to take over worlds and systems for whatever reason, resources, exploitation, right, taking them over, they always employ these robotic, inorganic beings that we call the Greys. Well, Ishmael, what's up with GESARA and NESARA and the RV? I heard it officially started today. Please answer. Well, if you guys watched this from the beginning, the White Hats were about to implement NESARA GESARA as of what, the 3rd or the 2nd of this month, a few days ago. And the cabal, tried to mitigate that, but then the alliance counteracted that. And so, yeah, it could happen any day now as a result of that. So go ahead. For those that are late to my show, don't forget to watch this from the beginning. I pretty much laid down what has been happening in the last few days. Not to mention the 200,000 light ships that have come into our solar system to help neutralize some of these artificial wormholes that were created through some you could say, processes that were initiated by the cabal. So again, the whole purpose of replacing the iPhone, the smartphone with the Q phones is to stop the bad frequencies, the RF frequencies that are coming out of these phones designed to harm us, and also to stop the massive surveillance, because through the smartphones, they track everything you say, everything you do, and so on and so forth. I do have a super chat from Greg. Thank you so much, brother. He says, why was the wedding of Jesus and Mary Magdalene removed from the Bible? Good question. Well, because the Luciferian control to draconian Catholic Church didn't want people to know the truth. They suppressed the divine feminine, right? So Jesus and Mary Magdalene were actually almost on the same level. They were made out of the same cloth. There were one soul and two bodies. So, twin flames. And just like Jesus had the 12 apostles, Mary had the 12 Magdalenes, okay? But the Essenes back then, who knew this, were able to hide some of this information in some of the suppressed gospels. And that explains why over 700 books were left out of the Bible, because they talked about this. So yeah, they removed the wedding of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, which was the wedding of Cana, where Jesus turned water into wine. And so that's what happened. They were trying to suppress the veneration of the sacred divine feminine. But now it's too late, because now the influx of the mother energies, or the mother goddess energies, is coming, in a high vibrational, you could say it's coming big time, to the point where it's just going to balance everything out again. As we witness the fall of the cabal, the sacred divine energies, right, will rise again in balance with the sacred masculine energies. And I do have another super chat from Team Inspire. What's up, Team Inspire? Welcome, welcome. I thought you said that we would receive our QFS account funds while still here in 3D. From what I understand is that we are actually going to be going into the 4D during the first solar flash, which is supposed to take place before June 21st, right? Sometime in the spring. So yeah, the 3D, as I speak, is imploding. All right, so I do want to welcome Robert Muse. Welcome, Robert Muse. Thank you for your super chat. If the solar flash happens when we are asleep, is what you're trying to say, at night, what will our experience be like when we wake up? Well, it all depends on where your vibration is, For the most part, if you are an older soul, if the solar flash were to take place while asleep, then chances is that you're probably going to sleep for 3 days to acclimate to the new frequencies, or you're probably going to wake up in the morning as a new being of light with full access to your memories, your past lives, full consciousness. Your multidimensional awareness will return. But you will still remember that you were currently, right, kind of trapped in a limited mentality in an immortal body. So yeah, all of that information will be coming back to you, and you will have access to your immortality. If and so you have ascended, because for those that are activated during the first flash, you will have ascended abilities, right? You will have these amazing powers. So many questions. Uh-oh. What did I do here? You guys can still see me, right? I'm still here broadcasting. I hope I am. All right, let's see. Ishmael, does Enlil and Enki look like? Okay, so Sylvia Vidal is asking me what Enlil and Enki look like. She's referring to the Anunnaki gods. Um, they're bronze. They have dark hair. They have high cheekbones, square jaws. Well, not so much Enki. Enki now looks like he looks hideous, right? Because Enki has infused himself with nanites to become a cyborg. But Enlil, I would say without a beard, Enlil looks like Clark Kent, like Superman. But with a beard, Enlil looks like Zeus. Well, Enlil is Zeus. Okay, they're one and the same. So yeah, but Enki, on the other hand, he looks horrific. I mean, hideous, hideous, hideous. But like I said, Enlil has returned. He has incarnated in human form. Well, Enki was actually arrested. Yes, Mary Magdalene's order of the red, blue, gold rose. That is so true, Sophia. Glory, thank you for mentioning that. Can you elaborate on how the on iPhone designed to cause harm? Well, I mean, from the beginning of the iPhone rollout, guys, they were designed to not only surveil us, but most importantly, they were designed to radiate us. Okay, it's called RF frequencies. Look it up. Deborah Shurik is asking me, will we be able to see starships? Absolutely. As we move into, as the collective of humanity moves into 4D Earth, that's when all the starships are going to be uncloaked. Mhm. What was the discount code for the Folium PX? Found the link up. Thank you. Well, Sandy Foster, the link will not only be in the description, but I will also put it in the comments and I will pin it. And if you go through that link, you put Perez 25 for the discount. Will the Earth as we know it implode, disintegrate with the solar flash? No. No, the Earth is not going to implode. Well, the 3D version of the Earth will. But again, we are going to be ascending into, or translated rather, into the new Earth, 4D, 5D, or 6D, depending on where your frequency is. That's right, Sandra. It is transformation time. What about those who are in prison? There are many who are innocent and have not been given a fair trial. That is so true. Well, God knows the righteous. God knows the people that are innocent. So those people will ascend. Absolutely. They will ascend. Yes, that's right. For the Folium, code Perez 25 is the code. Perez 25. Thank you, Karen Stanton, for mentioning that. If you're currently paralyzed and sick, oh, okay, this is a good question. Oh, how can I rewind the chat? If you're currently paralyzed and sick, I think you meant to say, will you be healed when the solar flash takes place or the ascension? And the answer to that is yes. There is going to be a instantaneous, miraculous healing taking place across the entire globe. So people that have terminal illnesses, that are good people in general, that are paralyzed, are going to once again walk, are going to once again be healed. Absolutely. Well, Jesus is the firstborn in heaven, yes, but Michael was the one who not Michael, I'm sorry. Gabriel was the one who impregnated Mary so that the Logos, which is the mind of the Creator or the consciousness of God, could incarnate in human form. But mind you, every single one of you is a son and daughter of God, not just Jesus. He's just our eldest brother, right? So we were also made to become exalted just like he did, okay? Just like he demonstrated, I mean. So every single one of you is the living son and daughter of the Most High, period. You guys are asking me some questions that are just kind of funny. If we are in our pajamas when the solar flash takes place, will we change clothes? Will we have different clothes? I don't know. I have no clue. Those are questions that I don't have answers to. I'm sorry. They are kind of funny, though. I mean, if you're in your pajamas and the solar flash takes place, you're probably going to have your spacesuit all of a sudden, right? Your pajamas are going to transform into the spacesuit. No, I'm just kidding. You probably won't need any clothes. No, Lee Star, there is clothing in the fifth dimension, but it's different than the clothing that we use here in the 3D. You're not going to be naked in the new Earth. Come on, guys. There's still intercourse happening. People, males and females, still come together in the 50 Earth, right? So yes, you're going to be clothed, but it's either going to be white robes or spacesuits, I guess. Will we ascend with our socks on? All right, some of these questions are a little bit silly, but it's okay. You guys are pretty humorous here. I think I've already addressed. Oh, this is another super chat. Will we meet Jesus in 5D? Well, what if I tell you guys that in the 5D Earth reality, you will become like the Christ? You will realize that you are the Christ, right? That's the best way to put it. Oh, my neighbors. Yeah, that's one of the setbacks of being in this apartment is that it's such a small apartment that the neighbors are very close to us. I have neighbors on both sides. So whenever they yell, you guys are going to hear my neighbors yell. I apologize for that. I guess that's the downfall of being in my apartment. It's like neighbors yell, you guys are going to hear them. Everything is hearable here. Thin walls. I do have another super chat, and I want to welcome all almost 2,900 people there in the house. I've never had so many people in one live, almost 3,000 people. That's a good thing. Okay, so if this is a question from Rhonda Chan, she says, if I have a humanitarian project ready, who acquires it when I ascend to the fifth dimension? Well, there is going to be a different level of your humanitarian project that is also going to be applicable in the fifth dimension. It's just not going to come with an economy. It's very hard to explain, but you will also have an avatar in the fourth D. Again, those that go into the fifth D are going to be able to pop back into the fourth D reality at will. And for those young souls, the Earth Terrans that are in the fourth D are going to see you as an angel, okay, or as a god or goddess, but mainly an angel, a messenger. Because at that point, everyone's going to come to the understanding that we are all created in the image of the one God, right? The Most High, Prime Creator. Ishmael, Maldic, Super Earth explosion. Can you explain? This is a question from Jeff. Well, Maldic was known as the 11th planet in our solar system, and it was infiltrated and occupied by the reptilian forces overrunning the human population there about 4 million years ago. And then they used Maldic as a to build their military outpost, developing a preemptive strike against the early colonies when even Earth was a super Earth known as Tiamat. Again, a lot of this is in the galactic history, guys. Take my course, Our Cosmic Origin. We go deep. So Maldic was apparently destroyed by the Battlestar planet named Biru, then operating under the direct orders of the Syrian High Council before Enki took it over, or Marduk, his son. And so what we know now of the Maldekian planet is the Kuiper belt, which is in the outskirts or almost in the outskirts of the jovial planets, right before we hit the Oort cloud. And then, of course, the asteroid belt is what was left behind from the exploded planet Tiamat, right? And then the other part of Tiamat eventually became the Earth, and that's why it's a lot smaller. Ishmael, here's another silly question. Will people have plastic surgeries, lose all their implants? Laughing out loud, since we are going to our original form. You won't need plastic surgery. Yes, and if you have implants, you will lose all your implants. So you're just going to return back to your original blueprint. So yeah, the answer to that is no. I mean, yes, you will lose all of that. You don't need none of that in the 5D. Well, in the 5D, there won't be any more chat. I don't think I'm going to be broadcasting anymore, guys. Why would I? If you guys go to the 5D, you guys are going to have access to all the information you guys want, laying dormant within your DNA. All right. You know, in the 5D Earth reality, we don't have where chats or YouTubes or podcasts where people learn from other people. No, that's just here in the 3D. Brother Ishmael, you missed Ali Senior's chat. Let me see. Is it a super chat? Let's see. I don't have a super chat from her. I'm sorry. It's not showing up on my end. Ishmael, what do you know about the seven sacred flames? Well, the seven sacred flames could also be what the book of Revelation calls the seven lamps, the seven seals, the seven churches, which are a metaphor describing what? Come on. A lot of you have taken my ascension courses, right? The seven chakras. The seven chakras. What role will AB negative, RH negative be? Well, you know, in the new Earth, there won't be no more Rh positive because the rhesus monkey protein, which is the primitive gene, right, the Homo erectus neanderthal gene, is going to be neutralized. So as we evolve from Homo sapiens sapiens to Homo luminous, there won't be any more monkey genes, and those that go into the 50. So the monkey gene will be neutralized, will be gone, nullified. Yes, all stolen loans are going to be forgiven. Grateful be, is it Grateful be on Earth? Some of you guys have really interesting YouTube names. Yes, everything's going to be forgiven. Absolutely. What is the real population of the Earth at this time? This is a question from Kali Lily. Well, I would say that we are almost at 9 billion. We're close to 9 billion now. Yep. Bye bye, monkey, somebody says. Well, monkey genetics, right? We will no longer be related to the chimpanzees thanks to Enki's downgrading us during the times of Atlantis. Let's see. Ishmael is the great central sun, also the supreme creator. Well, the supreme creator consciousness, the consciousness of the supreme creator, is located at the center of universes. They operate through the great central suns and the center of galaxies. They operate through the galactic hub or the galactic central sun as well. So yes, according to the raw material, the Law of One series, that is also known as the logos. The logos made flesh, right? The galactic central sun embodied in the form of Jesus. Ali Lenore says, can you talk about the real causes of autism? Thank you. I asked already. Well, you know, a lot of people are speculating that autism is the result of that, right? Early in a child's life, but I'm starting to think more. I'm starting to think that it's more of a mutation taking place. So these kids are actually gifted. They're multi-talented. Whether, you know, it doesn't matter where they are at in the spectrum. They could be high functioning, low functioning, or anywhere in between. But these kids are actually the reason it's very hard for them to be social and acceptable, right? In the social norm, and it's hard for them to be normal, is because they're already operating in higher dimensions. So, you know, go figure. But yeah, they're trying to tie it into that, to one of the, you know, that the kids get in their early stages in life. All right, let's see. Oh God, we went over the hour and 30 minutes. All right, one more question. My thoughts. Let's see. Ishmael is a great central sun. Yes. Let's see. Yes, they are more connected than us. Yeah, the autistic children are more connected than the average person. Yes. Let's see. Can you talk about light workers? Light workers, star children and wanderers. Well, you know, a lot of you guys are them. You know, that's why you guys are attracted to this information. You know, the wanderers are, again, interdimensional beings, right? Decided to incarnate in human forms, and there's different ways in which they do. We have those that incarnate through the birth canal, that are in a human avatar from the get-go, coming out of the mother's womb. And then you have the walkings, right, where they established a soul contract with a younger soul, that during one point, or during a period in their life, they choose to swap bodies, right? And then you have the, you know, the indigos, you have this, what is called as the rainbow children, and then now you have the crystal children, and those are different stages of advanced interdimensionals that are coming into the earth plane now. But overall, they're all light workers. They're all light workers. Let's see. Natalie Bishop, thank you for being here. She has a super chat. She's asking no question. She just wants to give me a generous donation. Well, thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. All right, guys, it is about that time. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. Don't forget to share this video with as many people as possible. And may the God force be with you all always. We'll see you guys in 2 nights for another update.